Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to the mediation session today. My name is Leah Spradlin, but you can call me Leah.
And I'm Carson Kovalic, but you can call me Carson. And today we're going to be your co-mediators. I kind of want to start off with some brief introductions. We prefer to call you guys by your first names. Is this okay? Okay, it's nice to meet you, Mary and Charles. I kind of want to start off with a technology checks to verify that you guys can see and hear us well, and we can see and hear you guys. So, will you guys just do an audio check again? Okay, thank you. And I just want to do a quick reminder of why we're here today. We're here for Charlie, so try to keep his best interest in mind as we go through this session. I want to remind you guys that cell phones are prohibited, and we prefer that you turn them off. However, if you just want to silence them, that's okay. But we just kind of want you guys to be all here and all focused as we go through this meeting. There's no recording of this session because you can't use it in court. It's very confidential. Note taking is permitted. So you can take notes as the other side talks or as we talk. And I just want to verify that it's okay if we take notes as you guys speak, so we can, if we have any thoughts that we want to address, we can do that. Okay, thank you. This is also a spot for us to maybe establish some ground rules. So we want to make sure that you guys keep your voices calm. There's no cussing, no interrupting or anything like that. We want you to be respectful of each other's time and our time. Are there any rules that you guys would like to introduce right now, other than those that I just mentioned? Okay, thank you.
So, this session is set to last for 4 hours. Do you both have 4 hours to spend together today? Okay, great. We just want to let you know ahead of time that we will take about every hour or so, about a 10-minute break. So you have time to check your phones, use the restroom, do whatever you need to do, because we realize that 4 hours is a long time to sit in front of a computer. We ask that during that 4 hours and the time that we are in the mediation session that you will be fully committed to the session, paying attention, and trying to come to an agreement today, because we believe that at the end of the 4 hours, the two of you will be able to come to an agreement to decide what is best for Charlie. Um, if either of you have any restraints, accommodations, or special needs during the session, please let us know. We'll give you room to tell us now. And if you're not comfortable, you can tell us later when we meet individually with you, because we will be doing so. Mary and Charles, do either of you have an attorney that you need to be with you today to make this decision? Or are there any other decision makers that need to be here for this agreement? No? Okay, great. So the two of you alone will be making the agreement today, and you are the decision makers. We have received all of your appropriate paperwork, including your agreement to mediate. Are you both still willing to comply with those and to try to settle this and come to an agreement today? Okay, great.
Thank you, Leah. I just kind of wanted to go into some information and background about what mediation is. Have either of you guys participated in mediation before? No? Okay. Well, it's kind of an alternative dispute resolution, so it's an alternative of going to court. So you guys get to make your own decisions. So you're in control of what happens today. It's less time, it's kind of a quicker process, it's less expensive, and it's private. Like we're going to go into later and mentioned earlier, it's confidential. So if you don't want people knowing about this, then we're going to make sure that this stays between the four of us. And the success rate is very high, with about over 80%. What this means is, of the cases that have gone to mediation, over 80% of them have resulted in settlement. I also just want to remind you guys that although we are both attorneys, we are not here to give you legal advice. We're not the judge or jury over this decision. You guys are going to get to make the decision and do what's best for you. So our job as the mediator is to remain neutral, to make sure that you guys come to an agreement together. We are not here to make that happen. You guys are here. We're kind of just here to facilitate that. And we also cannot be called as a witness later if this does not settle today. You can't call us as a witness in any event. That's not why we're here. You guys are each going to get a turn to go, because Charles filed the petition. He's kind of the plaintiff, and that's the term that is used. So he's going to go first. We're going to make sure, like I said earlier, we're not going to interrupt him. If we do, it's to ask questions, and then we'll let him and also Mary, we'll let both of you guys complete your opening statement to make sure that you get everything that you want to say out. But we just want to make sure that you guys don't interrupt each other because that's super important. So thank you.
As Carson mentioned, there are a lot of rights and entitlements that come to you as a party in a mediation. So, as we've said before, mediation is a confidential process. So, what's said here stays here. We do want to let you know that as mediators, we are mandatory reporters of any instances of child abuse or threats of such. So, other than that, we will be keeping everything confidential. But if that issue arises, we will be disclosing that. Later, we'll tell you more about the individual sessions that we'll have with you, and we want to let you know that there is a heightened level of confidentiality in those sessions, meaning that not only is the whole mediation confidential, but in those individual sessions, what you say to us as the mediators will be kept between yourself and us. We will not tell the other party what you say unless you give us permission otherwise. That way, you just feel comfortable to share any information you want to, so that we can help you come to an agreement today. Mediation is voluntary, so if Mary or Charles, either one of you, decides that you want to end the mediation today, you can do so. As mediators, we also have the right to end the mediation if we think that it's not productive or that there won't be an agreement met today. We've been doing mediations for a little while, so we don't foresee either of those issues arising today, and we think that the two of you will be able to come to an agreement today. Like Carson said, we are neutral parties, so we will not favor one of you over the other in this process at all. If you feel like we are, we encourage you to speak up and let us know. We will do our best to address that. But again, we don't want that to be an issue today, so we will be acting neutral. Just because the whole point of mediation is to come to an agreement, I just want to make sure that both of you have a good mental capacity to enter into a binding agreement. Are either of you on any substances that might impair your capacity today? Okay, great. We also just want to quickly remind you that if you don't come to an agreement today, everything that's said here stays here, and any offer that was made here is no longer on the table. Once you leave here, the offer is gone, and you can't reference in court later what agreement was offered. Lastly, we just want to verify that neither of you have a relationship with us, so we have no issues with favoritism or any conflicts or anything like that. Okay,
Great, y'all. So this is what we're doing right now is a joint session. So where all four of us are together in one room, albeit online room, but we are all together and we can hear what everybody's saying. We will be having caucuses, and what this is, Leah mentioned it earlier, is they're separate sessions where Leah and I will join with both Mary and Charles separately in breakout rooms. So there's that added privacy if there's something that you don't want to say in front of the other party, or you just don't feel comfortable, or maybe we're having some heightened kind of maybe anger or anything coming up. We just want to make sure that we get you guys separated, because ultimately we want to have a resolution today. So that can kind of alleviate some of that stress of that session. You can ask for a caucus. You may ask us for a caucus, but we also may, if we feel like they're necessary, then we will bring that up to make sure that we feel like we're getting a good resolution between you and between you guys. You can also ask for a break if needed. We just want to remind you guys of that. But I also want to make sure that if we caucus with one of you, we're going to caucus with the other. This is kind of a way to ensure that there's fairness because we don't want either of you to think that we're favoring one over the other, like Leah said earlier. If we do caucus separately, our ultimate goal is to return back to a joint session. This is because this is on you guys. We want you guys to make the ultimate decision. So our goal will be to go back to a joint session. If we end today at the conclusion of the 4 hours and we haven't come to and you guys have not come to a resolution, but you feel like it was super helpful and you want to potentially do it again, just let us know and we can try to get you guys an additional session at a later date to try to come to another agreement. So yeah.
Like Carson mentioned, this whole thing is about an agreement. So at the end of the mediation, hopefully you will have an agreement, which again, the two of us will not be making for you. When it comes to terms of the agreement, we are only scribes. We just write down exactly what the two of you have said you want to agree to. Once we write that down for you, the two of you will sign it. Then it will be filed with the court and the judge will sign off on it and it will be an enforceable contract. So anything that is listed in the agreement must be followed as it is because it will be once signed, an enforceable court order. So it's important to really focus today and make sure that the agreement covers all that's necessary for Charlie and make sure that you keep his best interest in mind because what the agreement says goes. If the two of you don't come to an agreement today and don't feel like mediation is the right process for you, your alternative is to go to court and have a judge or a jury decide for you. But we would really recommend that you work super hard today to come to an agreement together because you never know what a judge or a jury is going to do. You never know if they're going to be in your favor. And in mediation, you get the opportunity to come to the agreement yourself. So that is the end of our opening statement. We just really want to thank you for your attention. We know that's a lot. It's overwhelming when you don't know what's going on. So we appreciate your attention and your patience. Let us know if you need a caucus or a break, or if at any point you have any questions. We want this to be a comfortable place where you can feel like you can speak to us and find an agreement that works best for Charlie. We want to give room now for any questions that you have.
Okay, great. So like I mentioned earlier, because Charles is the plaintiff, he's going to get to go first. So after you, Charles.